Next up, let's talk about this new anti-age. What is my camera doing? It's got like some weird kind of tracker on my face and I don't know what it means. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, it's stopped doing it now. I hate my life and I'm going to have an absolute... I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Oh my God, the sun is killing me today. Christ, I hate filming in natural light. I really, really hate it. We're going to have to do something about this. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be my September monthly roundup, telling you all about my hits and misses and everything in between for the month of September. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up, let's talk about this Current Body LED Light Therapy Mask. This was very kindly gifted to me, but with no obligation to post about it or talk about it at all. So make of that what you will. So I have only been using this, I think, for about 2 weeks, but I've been using it every day, every single day, because if I'm being honest, I just love terrifying my children. And that's just been a really fun time. Okay, really fun times. So this is rechargeable. You basically plug it in and then this is all you need. So you don't have to like be attached to a plug. You can sit anywhere, but I will say it comes with these little goggles to protect the eyeballs. And the first time I used this, I decided to go goggle free. Okay, I went in bareback and I will tell you now, don't do that. I nearly lost my sight. It is bright up in there, okay? It's extremely bright, very, very bright. So what I love about this, 2 weeks in, obviously too soon to start to see like the effects and the benefits of this mask. So this mask apparently is clinically proven to reduce wrinkles by 35% in 4 weeks. So in 4 weeks time, or 2 weeks time, as I've already been using it for 2, you see me walking around looking like a 15-year-old, then you'll know how that happened. But so far, I just really enjoy using this. What I like about it is because of the brightness and the need to wear like the blackout goggles while you're using it, it literally forces you to sit still for 10 minutes because that's how long the light round lasts. It turns itself off after 10 minutes, which is perfect because I don't want to like cook in there and forget or fall asleep like I often do. It turns itself off after 10 minutes so you don't have to panic, which I really like. And it just forces you to sit and not do something else. You know, I'm one for like multitasking all the time. This makes you sit still and just enjoy the 10 minutes of peace and relaxation. And I really like the slight heating. It's not hot, it's just a slight warming sensation while you're using it, which I really like. It's very easy to use. It's comfortable to use. The way the mask kind of melds to your face, I find really useful because it feels like it's touching every bit of your skin. It's not sort of sticking out or like lifting off of your face anywhere. It really feels like it's melded to your skin, which I really like. I definitely have noticed immediately after my skin feels like really taut and firm and smooth and soft. But as far as visible effects, it's a bit too soon to say. So I'm going to keep you posted. I am using it every day. I'm really enjoying using it and I'm liking how easy it is to use. But yeah, I wish I'd taken a before and after. I'm going to take one today. We're going to start from today and I'm going to track my results and I'll keep you posted on how much younger I'm becoming. Next up, let's talk about this way. Let's talk about this Jo Malone Myrrh and Tonka fragrance. I spoke about this in my haul video, my last haul video, whenever that was. I have never gotten along well with Jo Malone fragrances. They just don't perform well enough for me. I feel like they are just completely unsmellable within moments, if at all, and it just hasn't been a brand for me. If you watch my haul video, you'll know that I decided to give this brand like one last try because I'd heard that this fragrance in particular, the Myrrh and Tonka fragrance, is like the strongest one, the best performing fragrance from the brand. So I thought, if this one doesn't do it, then we're done. I'm done with you, Jo Malone. If this one does not give me what I need it to give, we're done. And sadly, we're done. Okay, this does not really perform any better. Well, it doesn't perform any better than any of the other fragrances from the brand. I feel like no matter how much I overspray, you really can't smell it on me. I haven't had a single compliment wearing this fragrance. Like no one else can smell it. And that's like immediately. straight off the bat, it's unsmellable. My husband really, he's not a fragrance guy, but he appreciates my fragrance obsession, and he always compliments me on my fragrances. He always notices if I'm wearing a new one, and he has not said one word the few times that I've sprayed this, and obviously he's in the house with me, he smells it immediately. So yes, unfortunately this was no better than the other fragrances. As far as the actual smell, the scent of this, it's nice. I don't love it. It's okay. I like it. It definitely smells more designer fragrance than it does niche fragrance. To my nose, it's a bit harsh. It's a bit sharp. I don't feel like the blend of the notes is what I'm looking for. And just all around, it was really a fail. It's okay as far as the fragrance itself. The performance is, as is my experience typically for the brand, just not there for what I need. So I'm done with you, Jo Malone. I'm not throwing any more money down the drain. Next up, let's talk about this new brush from Sonia G. This is the Jumbo Bronzer in the Sky variety, the blue handles. This brush is without doubt, by far, my favourite bronzer brush of all time, of life, in fact. By like some way, no comparison, straight in at top spot. My two like bronzer brushes that have been in top spot before this one came along, it's like they had a baby, okay? This is like Niche Pro and the Pro, what is this? The Face Pro and the Niche Pro had a baby, okay? And they came up with the Jumbo Bronzer. These two have had a baby, is what I'm saying. That's the hot tea. I love the Niche Pro because of the like the sort of the shape of it. I just love that sculpted shape of it, and it picks up a lot of product, but it's strong enough to and sturdy enough to buff out what it lays down, is what I'm saying. It can walk the walk as well as talk the talk. The Face Pro, however, is much lighter and softer and more gentle. It still has the tapered shape, but it's a bit fatter, and therefore it kind of doesn't pick up as much product or lay down as much initially, but it covers more surface area. You know what I'm saying? Between those two, this one is like the absolute sweetest of spots in the middle. It has that sculpted shape, which I love for like getting in your cheekbones, around your hairline, and it keeps it really nice and precise. But it's lighter and fluffier even than the Face Pro. It's really, really light, airy, fluffy. So it doesn't pick up a huge amount of product and like shove it on your face. It's really giving a light, blended application straight off the bat. You can build very easily with it, but it is never gonna like disturb anything underneath. It's very, very natural and easy to work with, and it's just so soft and gentle, but it still has that really nice sort of sculpted shape that allows you to carve out and give some dimension if that's what you want. I'm absolutely in love. This is perfect bronzer brush that I've been seeking my whole life, and we've come close, but this is it. Holy grail bronzer brush, the best of the best. Can't say enough good things about it. A little fly just flittering around in here. Next up, I want to talk about a nail varnish. It's the one I have on my nails today. It's from OPI, of course it is, and it is the shade Claydreaming. This colour is just it for autumn. I find it so autumnal, but not in a super obvious way. I was gifted a load of BK Beauty brushes this month, and they sent me like their sort of most popular bestseller brushes, as well as the Angie Hot and Flashy collab, and these brushes are amazing. Okay, I get the hype. My favorites, I loved all of the eye brushes from the Angie Hot and Flashy. They're just all beautifully tapered and perfect for hooded eyes, and just that like whole, you know, getting into the crease. They're so clever. The shapes are just genius. My favourite of all of those that I was sent is the concealer brush from the Angie Hot and Flashy collab. It's so perfect. I almost always prefer to use a damp beauty blender, and since I got this brush, I've only used this to blend out my concealer. It's the perfect size and shape, getting right under the eyes, you know, around the nose, and it's so gentle. It just blends out really easily, and I absolutely love it. It's genius. I also, of course, love the 101, which is the foundation brush that everybody raves about. It just is so big, and it just applies your foundation so quickly that it's a real, like, good time saver. Like, it literally does your whole face in about 10 seconds. And also perfect for cream bronzer. I've used this with my Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer a few times, and I literally just pat. I don't even need to blend. It just pats it in the perfect place because the shape is just absolutely perfect for cream bronzer. I also really like the tapered sort of blush brush as well. This is a really nice one from the Angie collab, but all of the brushes that I tried, I really liked so far. So thank you so much to BK Beauty, because it's tricky to get them here, okay? So I'm really grateful I got to try them. Next up, let's talk about the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Care and Glow Foundation. I have this foundation on today. I like this foundation. I don't love it. I'm not obsessed with it. It's not like top 5 material is what I'm saying. And there's nothing like hideously wrong with it. It's like I said, it's a nice foundation that I like. I'm just not obsessed with it. I wouldn't, if this ran out tomorrow, I don't think I'd repurchase it. That's where it's at. Okay, it has a nice amount of coverage. It gives me a medium quite easily. It has an exceedingly overpowering fragrance. I will say that straight off the bat. It's like worse than Chanel. Really gets right in the nostrils is what I'm saying. A really highly fragranced foundation for some reason. So you've been warned. The finish, I think, is what makes me not like tip over into love from like. It's not that it's anything wrong with it, it's just I just don't love the finish of it. It's got some luminosity to it, but it's not glowy and luminous enough for my typical taste. It is quite nice and smooth, and it does wear decently well. It has SPF in it, 25, which I'm not a big fan of because it immediately means I don't really want to wear it in certain situations, so it's less flexible, less versatile for when and where I can use it. It has quite nice shades and undertones for me. I use the shade 355N at the moment. And yeah, so I like things about it. It feels nice and light and hydrating on the skin. It wears decently well. It's quite flattering and smooth, but the finish is just not, it's a bit flat on my skin, I find. So yeah, it is a like. I do like it, but I don't love it. It's nice, but it's not like spectacular, life-changing for me. Next, let's talk about the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I have spoken about this. I know this isn't new. This is, in fact, like ancient. But I thought I would update you on how I'm getting on with this, having used this for like the best part of this month as a concealer set with powder girl, typically. I really like this eyeshadow primer. It's my favourite eyeshadow primer I've ever used. I always go back to concealer and powder because I've just never got along with an eyeshadow primer. This one, I do get along with it. I do find it a bit trickier to use and work with than I do when I apply eyeshadow on top of concealer and powder. But this one is easier, and I like how it looks and feels on the eye. I like that it kind of gets rid of any discoloration, redness, tones everything down, but it's really thin, so it barely looks like you've got anything on your eye. It just literally preps that area. I'm a big fan. I hate the applicator, as I feel like everybody is telling me that they do. So I wish they would change that. But everything else, I like it. I don't know that I'm converted. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying to convert myself because I know I should be using an eyeshadow primer. But yeah, you know what they say about old dogs and new tricks, don't you? I wouldn't know. Next up, let's talk about these Gucci blushes. Oh, I'm sure you already know how I feel about these, but just in case, I'm absolutely obsessed with them. I love everything about these blushes. I love the colours. I ended up with 3. I have done a trying new makeup where I put all 3 on my face just for fun, and it was fun, and I just love them. I love everything from the packaging. It's just so pretty. I like that they're quite diddy and easy to store, but you know, you're not getting like a small amount. They have 5.5 grams, which is a very average typical amount of blush, but they're just nice and diddy and easy to store, but they've still got that cutesy little mirror there should you need it, and should your face be like a quarter of the size of mine. The colours and the finish. I'm wearing, what am I wearing? I'm wearing Rosy Beige today. I don't know that it's my favourite. I do like the neutralness, the neutral quality of it, so it can be worn with like any makeup look. It's very inoffensive. It's very unintrusive as well. You know, it doesn't fight with anything. Bright Coral is perhaps the most vibrant shade of the 3. Well, it is. It's not perhaps. It just is a fact that it is the most vibrant shade that I picked up. And then Tender Apricot is just that perfect peachy nude shade that I really love, and it did surprise me that it actually shows up very subtly on me, but it does show up. But the finish of these blushes is what does it for me. It's just this gorgeous, perfect, luminous but natural, healthy glow to the skin. It's not shimmer, it's not in any way like a highlighting blush. It's just this natural, lit from within luminosity. They apply so nicely, they build so nicely. I absolutely love them. They're one of my favourite blush formulas of all time. So there you go. Next, let's talk about these new liquid Lurex eyeshadows from Lisa Eldridge. Not a new formula, but new shades of the existing formula. I absolutely love these. I find them so easy and quick to use, and they have the perfect amount of shimmer in them, that they have that really nice dramatic high shine opaque colour. You can definitely tone these down if you don't want as much colour, or you don't want them so opaque, or you want them a bit more subtle. You can definitely like buff them out, but I absolutely love these colours. I picked up 3 shades. I have Emily and Daphne are the 2 I've swatched so far. Daphne and Emily is that sort of pinkier shade, and then I have Anais. I love all 3 of these colours. They're my favourites. I liked the formula when Lisa first released these, but the shades weren't tickling my pickle so much. All 3 of these shades are giving me like just what I need from them. They're so beautiful. I love them. They're very, very easy to work with. I'm not really a liquid eyeshadow kind of girl, but these are like the best of the best. If you're a one and done eyeshadow kind of girl, you like liquid eyeshadows, these are like probably the best I can ever remember using. And for a product that I'm not typically drawn to, you know, I'm a powder palettes kind of girl, these have been getting like a good amount of use, which, you know, speaks volumes really, because typically this type of product, I'll use it for review, give my thoughts, and then it goes in a drawer, never to be seen again. Whereas these are still getting used. So that says a lot. Next up, I picked up yet another shade of Dior Addict Hydrating Shine lipsticks this month. Okay, I can't stop buying them. I probably end up with the entire collection. This shade is number, why does that say Saddle? I know that's not the name. I've put it in a different cap, so that's confusing. This is Bandana, and I have to remember it's not banana, because when I look at it quickly, that's what I think it says. Okay, this is the lipstick I have on today. Probably my favorite nude that I've tried so far from the collection, and I have tried all of them, so you know, that's comprehensive. It's a nice warm autumnal nude for me. It really reminds me of Lisa Eldridge's Affair, but obviously that's a really matte lipstick, and this has that shine to it. It's also quite similar to Charlotte Tilbury's Nude Romance. So yeah, I love that this has those beautiful tones that I really, really like and am drawn to, but in a shinier form. So it's a bit of a richer, warmer nude, perfect for my skin tone, and I'm just loving it. So easy to wear, really goes with, you know, everything, and yeah, probably like one of my top 5 shades that I've tried in the formula, and maybe my favorite nude, I think. And lastly, but by no means leastly, let's talk about these Hourglass palettes, these ambient lighting edit palettes. So first up, just to clarify, these are in their correct packaging, their standard packaging. I didn't customize these. So this is the elephant palette, and it is the elephant packaging as standard, not to confuse anyone. So I really haven't used this since my review, and that's not to say I don't like it. I do really like it. I think it's beautiful. I don't really use these ambient lighting powders, so this for me is just like bronzer, highlight, and some really pretty blushes that are pinker than is like my typical go-to preference. So I can't really see myself using this a lot, but that's only because I love Tiger so much, and just so much more than I do Elephant. This palette is my favourite ever from these Hourglass palettes by miles. I also think it might be like my favourite face palette. Someone asked me that, which would be like my #1 face palette that I would recommend. And a lot of people thought I would say Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm, which I probably would. However, one, that has contour powders in and not bronzers, so it's kind of missing something. This has more shades in it. That one has 4, 2 of which are bronzers, so you really only have like a blush and a highlight in there, gorgeous as they are. This is giving me, on my skin tone, bronzer, 2 highlights, and like 3 blushes, which is, you know, a lot more and a lot more versatility to work with. The shades just all are stunning, beautiful. It does a full face and eyes easily. If I was traveling, I could just take this and do my full face. I love, like I said in my review, that I have like a more subtle highlight and a more like beaming highlight. I love that I have like options when it comes to blushes, not just colours but finishes as well. I've got like a more subtle blush and then some really shimmery blush options, and they're all like my colours as well, these sort of warm orangey coppery tones, as well as this sort of peachier coral. Just gorgeous. I literally love this whole palette. It's rare that you get a face palette, especially one with like 6 whole shades in it, that you love every single product and every single shade and you will use it. There's always like a dud or something that doesn't work on your skin tone. This one, everything in here works perfectly and beautifully on me. And the bronzer, which is actually a ambient powder, like a finishing powder, but on me is obviously a bronzer, is beautiful and so smooth. I actually love it. This has got a lot of use so far, and I could actually see, you know, typically these palettes, when I buy them, I really like them. I get a good amount of use out of them for like a month or so, and then they go back in the drawer and I go back to like my singles and my other products, just because I don't want to pull out a palette every time and I like to mix things up. I can actually see me getting a huge amount of use out of this one for a long period of time. So yeah, this is the best one I think they've ever done, and it just goes to show, because of how quickly it's sold out, that when they actually do a palette that can work for someone other than a light medium skin tone, people want to buy it. So hopefully that is a lesson for Hourglass. So there you have it. That is my updated thoughts on everything I tried in the month of September. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.